You're listening to the Focused and Fearless podcast. I'm your host, Heather Angel, and I've been helping people tune into what lights them up and increase their personal and professional performance for over a decade. Now I'm best known as a high-performance coach helping entrepreneurs like you cut through the noise and create a business and life on your terms. If you're ready to step out of struggle and discover how simple it can be to create a fulfilling, joyful, and successful business without all the overwhelm and long hours, you're in the right place.
Hey gorgeous, welcome to another episode and happy February if you're listening to this on the day it was released. We got through January. I think that's enough to celebrate on its own. So we are edging closer and closer to spring, which after a weekend of rain and snow showers, I'm just like, I need the sun. I can't wait for the sun to come back. So we are edging closer, my friends, edging closer to the spring. This episode is going to be really short and it's very actionable. I want to give you 3 journaling prompts, which I really hope are going to help you get a little bit clearer on why potentially you're not taking the inspired action you want towards the goals that you've set for yourself. Now, I've spoken many times about, knowing what you want and really tuning into that. This, I hope, will be an extra little tool for you to help you with that, because especially at the moment with the pandemic and everything being a little bit up in the air, it can feel like you're just wading through treacle a little bit. You're kind of just treading water. You're not really going exactly where you want to go. But what can also happen is that there are still, a few little beliefs, a few little niggles, things holding you back that you might not actually be aware of. So what I want you to do off the back of this podcast episode is I want you to do some journaling. Now, just quickly, if you've never done journaling before, you can absolutely give it a Google and there'll be a gazillion different results of telling you all these different ways you need to journal and the fancy pants journals that you need to spend 50 quid on. I don't think you need any of that. I'm a big fan of just having a really gorgeous notebook that you really like and a pen. I don't think you need anything more complicated than that. But equally, I have clients who just don't like writing. They much rather type, and they're quite happy to have a Google Doc, or they'll write themselves letters rather than journaling as such. So whatever works for you is absolutely fine. And when I talk about journaling, this isn't something you have to do every day. It doesn't have to be part of your morning routine or your evening routine or anything like that. It can be. I mean, that's absolutely great if that serves you. But it can just be something you turn to as a tool on those moments when you're feeling a bit overwhelmed or you've got things on your mind. Or what I use it for now is when I become aware that I'm sabotaging myself a little bit, or when I become aware that something's triggered me or something's wound me up, or you kind of get that sort of pit in your stomach when you see something on social media like, oh, hang on a minute, why has that bothered me? Let's journal it out. I love journaling. I think it's absolutely such an amazing tool because it's so simple. Like I said, notebook, pen, give yourself 10 minutes, half an hour, however long it is, just to write and process the thoughts that are going around your brain and see if you can get to the root cause of it. I think it's a really powerful tool. Once you practice it a few times, it does get easier. If you have never done this before, be kind to yourself. I'm going to give you 3 journal prompts that you can use and just see how you get on with them. So, journal prompt number 1 is, if a genie could grant you unlimited wishes, what would you ask for? So this is another way of you maybe getting back in touch with what you actually want. I've talked about this so many times on the podcast. Knowing what you want is really important, but it can feel really heavy, like you've got to make a big decision. I've definitely gone through that over the last couple of months. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I want? I'm moving house, I'm getting divorced, I'm homeschooling the kids. I'm like, holy cow, I don't know. I just want, a day off would be nice. Just a day to myself in a spa. That's what I want. So, Boris, if you're listening, let's just get us out of lockdown as quickly as possible so we can all just go back to normal lives. So I know what I want, but we can feel like it's really heavy and we put conditions on it and we sort of think, oh, well, I can't have that. So this journaling prompt is just a little bit more fun. So think about, if a genie could grant you unlimited wishes, what would you wish for? Write everything out and don't put a cap on it. Don't think, oh, well, that's not realistic. Who cares if it's realistic? You have no idea what the universe has in store for you. So what would you wish for if you could have unlimited wishes? That's the first one. And then the 2 others that I want you to look at are, what would you gain when you achieve your goals? Okay, what would you gain when you achieve your goals? And the second is, what would you lose when you achieve your goals? So the first one is all about wishes, about what you want. So if you imagine, if you got all of that, if you managed to achieve all of those amazing things, the wealth, the success, the business, the relationships, the life, whatever it is that you're like, oh my gosh, these are the things I want. What would you gain when you achieve that? And what would you lose when you achieve that? Now, what you would gain might be an easy one for you to answer. You're like, well, I'd have financial freedom, I'd feel calmer. Let's just use money as an example, because that's, quite a common one, especially for businesses. So if you hit your income goals, does that mean that actually you would feel happier, more secure? You would have all these nice materialistic things that you can then have. You would provide your family with a different life. All those things that you would gain. That can usually be an easier one to figure out. And it also gives you a little bit more excitement behind your desires of what you actually want. The really interesting one I find is when I get my clients to look at what they would lose when they would achieve their goals. This is where the self-sabotage can come in, because we often have beliefs around, well, if I achieve what I want and I have everything I want, it's going to mean this, XYZ, whatever it means for you. So what it could mean, and again, I'm going to use money just because it's a really simple example to use, is perhaps you don't come from a particularly wealthy background. Maybe your family don't have wealth. Maybe you're the only one that's sort of really starting to generate, go out there on your own and do the big scary things of running a business and looking to generate a substantial income. How would that affect your relationship with your family? Are you potentially worried that you might overshadow a sibling? Are you worried that actually, your family might have told you that rich people are bad, rich people are greedy, rich people get their money off the backs of the poor, and all these kind of awful stories that we hear about rich people? So actually, deep down, do you think that potentially if you achieved all your goals and you got everything you wanted, if you drove to your parents' house or your family's house with that flashy, beautiful car that you want, what are you going to lose on that? Are they going to judge you? Are they going to think differently of you? Are you going to feel uncomfortable having that kind of wealth? These are the things that we don't necessarily realize, because on the surface you might be like, no, of course my family would be really happy for me, and you could do lots of things for them. But what is actually underneath the surface? What could you lose if you achieve your goals? What about friendships? Quite often when I've done this work, and I've done this work with with clients, it's so often the personal relationships that come into this. Now, it might not be for you. It might be that actually you lose the ability to make excuses. If you have everything you want, you can't shy away anymore. You've got to fully own it, fully step into your power and be that entrepreneur, that business owner, that person living their biggest, boldest life 100%. And that might be scary for you. You might not be able to hide in the shadows anymore. If you actually have everything you want, everything that you truly desire, does that mean you're going to have to be out there a little bit more? Does it mean you're going to be more visible? What's it going to do to your relationships? Do you believe, if you're a parent, and this has absolutely been a thought process of mine, and it still probably is that I need to work through, if I'm being totally honest with you, do you believe that you won't be as good a parent if you have all the business success that you want? Do you believe that your children would suffer and have to sacrifice time with you, your attention, your love, if you're putting more effort into the business and achieving all your goals? These are the really deep-rooted beliefs and thought processes that we have, which hold us back without us even realizing. So these journaling prompts, they're so simple, so simple, but I really encourage you, take some time this week, get a cup of tea or glass of wine, whatever you need, and just take some time, notebook, like I said, nothing fancy. I don't even care if it's just the back of an envelope, like whatever you've got to write on. Just do some writing and ask yourself those 3 questions. If a genie could grant you unlimited wishes, what would you wish for? That's a really fun one. Go wild. Think about everything you like. And then the second one, what would you gain when you achieve your goals? what would you lose when you achieve your goals? 3 super simple journaling prompts. Now, if I'd been organised, I would have put this, set it up as a download for you, but I haven't. So I have put it in the show notes. So, I mean, they're very simple. I'm sure you can remember them. But I have put them in the show notes, so you can just copy and paste them. If you're doing it on a Google Doc, just jot them down. So journal on those and really be kind to yourself and be aware of what is coming up when you're writing about this. So especially when you look at what you might lose when you achieve your goals, because quite often you're attaching meaning to achieving your goals. You are saying, well, if I achieve my goals, that means this. And again, I'll use the money as an example. If I create a business that brings in 500,000, then that means I'm going to be really rich and I'm going to make my siblings feel bad. Or my family have never made that kind of money, so I'm going to lose any kind of attachment. My family are going to feel that I'm no longer on their same level, that they're going to disown me, or they're going to feel that I'm showing off. You know, all these things can come up. These are so common. I've had this with so many of my clients. I've been through exactly the same myself. This is why I really want you to journal on these 3 journaling prompts. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, get them done. They're really powerful. And if you want to discuss anything that's come through when you've done this journaling, or if you've got any questions about journaling at all, please do reach out to me. Reach out to me. I say it on every podcast episode, but I genuinely mean it. I'm on Instagram at Heather Angel Coaching. Send me a DM. I will always reply. You can send me a voice note. You can send me a message, whatever you want. And if anything comes through with these journaling prompts that you're surprised at, or you're wondering how you can sort of work through it, maybe you get to the point where you're like, I don't really know how to dig any deeper with this limiting belief or this thing that sort of come up for you. Send me a DM. We can, I can give you some other ideas, maybe some further journaling prompts that you can use. But these are really powerful. If you don't dig through the layers and find out actually what's holding you back from taking the action that you need to take to achieve the things you want, then you're going to end up being stuck, and you're going to stay in this feeling of sort of wading through treacle and feeling like you're treading water. So 3 super simple journaling prompts. Give them a go. Let me know how you get on. And next week I have an amazing interview coming for you with my beautiful friend Claire Drake, and we are going to be talking all about self-sabotage. Yes, my friends, I have actually planned this out. I want you to do these journaling prompts, and then I want you to listen to next week's episode all about self-sabotage, and then you'll be able to put all the pieces together and realize where you are starting to hold yourself back. All right, gorgeous soul, I will speak to you very soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Focused and Fearless podcast. If you'd like to continue the conversation or have a question that you would like answered in an upcoming episode, head over to Instagram and connect with me at Heather Angel Coaching. If you enjoy this podcast, please share your thoughts in a review on iTunes. I truly value your feedback, and I take the time to read every single review. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you in the next episode.